You've probably been there before, talking to a woman, doing everything right, giving her your time and attention, only to hear those crushing words, "You're such a good friend." The friend zone feels like rejection, but here's the truth. It's not about you not being enough. It's about psychology, boundaries, and the way you present yourself from the very beginning. Most men end up trapped because they don't recognize the signals early enough, or worse, they think being overly nice will eventually win her over. It doesn't. In this video, you'll learn exactly why the friend zone happens, the hidden psychology behind it, and most importantly, how to escape it without losing your dignity. If you're tired of being stuck as the backup option, subscribe right now and let's break down how Sigma level clarity and mindset can change the way you approach relationships forever. You give too much without realizing it. As an empath, one of your greatest strengths is your ability to give. You naturally want to support, to listen, to show up when someone needs you. But here's the part that hurts. You often end up giving so much that the other person stops seeing you as someone to value and starts seeing you as someone they can lean on endlessly. It's not that your kindness isn't appreciated. It is, but it doesn't create attraction or equal respect when it's unbalanced. Instead of being seen as a partner, you get labeled as the safe one, the friend who will always be there no matter what. This is where many empaths find themselves stuck in the friend zone. Not because you're not good enough, but because you've blurred the line between support and desire. You teach people, often without realizing it, that your needs don't matter as much as theirs. And the truth is, your compassion deserves reciprocity. The reason Sigma empaths escape this trap is because they balance giving with boundaries. They know when to step back, when to stop pouring into someone who isn't pouring back, and that shift changes everything. Why comfort isn't the same as desire. As an empath, you naturally create comfort for the people around you. You listen deeply, you notice the little things, and you make people feel safe being themselves. That comfort is powerful. It's why people open up to you when they can't open up to anyone else. But here's the hidden truth. Comfort and desire aren't the same thing. Someone can depend on you emotionally, even lean on you for their darkest thoughts, without ever truly seeing you as a romantic partner. This is one of the most painful realities for empaths because you often confuse someone needing you with someone valuing you in the same way you value them. You feel the bond so deeply that you assume it's mutual, when in reality it may just be one-sided. It's not because you're lacking, it's because your ability to create emotional safety is so strong that people settle into it without realizing how much more you deserve. The difference between being the safe friend and the desired partner often comes down to boundaries and balance. Sigma empaths recognize this. They know how to give comfort without giving away all of themselves, and that's what keeps their connections from tipping into the friend zone. Mixed signals, why you ignore them. As an empath, you're wired to focus on the best in people. You pick up on their subtle emotions, you notice the flicker of kindness in their eyes, and you hold on to it as proof that their feelings must run as deep as yours. But this same gift can blind you. When someone shows mixed signals, giving you just enough attention to keep you close, but not enough commitment to move things forward, you often overlook the red flags. You convince yourself that their moments of warmth mean more than their patterns of distance. This is how empaths get trapped. Instead of stepping back and asking, what are their actions really telling me? You lean into hope and potential. You believe that with patience, they'll see your worth the way you see theirs. But ignoring mixed signals is what locks you in the friend zone. It keeps you investing in someone who has already defined you as safe instead of chosen. Sigma empaths break this cycle. Because they don't just feel deeply, they also observe clearly. They take mixed signals for what they are, a lack of clarity, a lack of reciprocation, and a sign to protect their heart before it gets pulled deeper into imbalance. The power of boundaries. One of the hardest lessons for empaths is realizing that your heart can't save everyone, and it isn't supposed to. You're so used to giving without limits that setting boundaries feels unnatural, even selfish. But here's the truth. Without boundaries, your kindness gets taken for granted. People grow comfortable leaning on your support without ever giving back, and slowly, you become the person they depend on, but never truly choose. Boundaries are not walls, and they're not rejection. they are self-respect. When you learn to say no, when you stop giving your time and energy to people who don't value it, you change the dynamic completely. You stop being the one who's always available and start being the one whose presence carries weight. That's the difference between being a safe friend and being seen as someone to cherish. Sigma empaths know this deeply. Your energy is sacred, and if someone doesn't meet you halfway, you don't lower your standards. You protect your peace. Scarcity creates value. As an empath, one of the biggest challenges you face is that you give too much access to yourself too quickly. You're always available to listen, always ready to help, always open when someone reaches out. While that generosity comes from a beautiful place, it often teaches people that your time and energy are unlimited, and anything that feels unlimited starts to lose its value. The reality is, people respect what feels rare. When you're constantly present, others begin to take your presence for granted. But when you create space, when you're not always instantly available, your energy becomes something people pay attention to. It's not about playing games. It's about balance. Your compassion is powerful, but when it's paired with scarcity, it becomes magnetic instead of draining. Sigma empaths live by this principle. By carefully choosing where their energy goes, they make sure it's seen as precious, not disposable. And that shift changes everything about how people treat you. The strength of emotional presence. One of the most overlooked gifts you bring as an empath is your emotional presence. While many people listen just to reply, you listen to truly understand. Your ability to tune in and connect on a deeper level makes people feel seen in ways they rarely experience. But here's what's important. Your emotional presence doesn't mean you absorb everything. True strength comes from being fully present without losing yourself in the process. When you hold that balance, you stop being the person who fixes and become the person who empowers. People feel your calm, steady energy and it grounds them, even in moments of chaos. That's what separates you from surface-level connections. Your presence becomes magnetic, not because you're loud or dominant, but because you're solid. Sigma empaths know this truth well. The most powerful thing you can offer isn't endless effort. It's the quiet strength of simply being, of letting someone know they're safe in your presence without ever sacrificing your own inner peace. How to reset the balance in relationships. As an empath, it's easy to give so much of yourself that the balance in a relationship starts tilting in the other person's favor. You're the one reaching out first, offering support, checking in, and holding the emotional weight. Over time, this creates a silent dynamic. You become the giver and they become the taker. But here's the truth. You can reset that balance without losing your compassion. The shift happens when you stop chasing and start observing. Instead of pouring endlessly, you step back and see what happens when the energy isn't coming from you. Do they reach out? Do they make an effort to give back? This isn't about testing people. It's about allowing the relationship to reveal itself. When you pull your energy back just slightly, you create space for them to show whether they value you or only value what you provide. Sigma empaths excel at this because they know their worth isn't tied to constant giving. By stepping into that mindset, you transform the dynamic from one-sided to mutual, or if it's not mutual, you finally see the truth and know when it's time to let go. When to walk away completely. The most painful but powerful truth for empaths is realizing that sometimes the healthiest choice isn't to give more, it's to walk away. You may have poured your heart into someone, held space for their pain, and given them chance after chance, but if the relationship continues to drain you, it's no longer love, it's self-sacrifice. Staying in that dynamic keeps you stuck, repeating the same cycle of giving without receiving. Walking away doesn't mean you didn't care, and it doesn't erase the compassion you showed. It means you finally recognize that protecting your own heart has to come first. This is where many empaths struggle, because detachment feels cold, even cruel. But in reality, it's an act of deep self-respect. By closing the door, you stop bleeding energy into a space that will never give back, and you open yourself to relationships that honor your worth. Sigma empaths understand this clearly. They know that walking away isn't losing, it's reclaiming peace. And often, the silence you leave behind speaks louder than every word you ever gave. At some point, you realize the friend zone isn't just about them, It's about you forgetting your own worth. You don't belong in relationships where you're seen as safe but never truly chosen. Escaping the cycle isn't about becoming colder, it's about balancing your compassion with boundaries and remembering that your energy is sacred. The right connection won't require you to prove yourself endlessly. It will feel mutual, respectful, and real. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next video. I'll keep sharing insights to help you protect your heart and grow stronger in your relationships. And let me ask you, have you ever realized you were stuck in the friend zone? And what did you learn when you finally stepped out of it?